Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the movie called Tender Bar, most notably starring Ben Affleck and Ty Sheridan, and also directed by George Clooney. This is an Amazon Prime original. I think it first debuted in December 17th. It might have had some theatrical release, but it just started streaming today. So before we go into my thoughts on the movie, please make sure to like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But let's take a look at what my thoughts are on Tender Bar. So the story takes place in 1972, based off of a real-life memoir. And it's a story about, a 9-year-old boy who lives with a struggling mother. They move back into her father's house. He's searching for a father figure since his father is not really in the picture. He finds that father figure in his Uncle Charlie, who's played by Ben Affleck. And the movie is pretty much about Uncle Charlie's influence on him as a kid, and then we see him grow up as he wants to become a writer. That's pretty much what the whole story is about. This will be a spoiler-free review, so I won't be spoiling any sort of big plot points that happen in this movie. And so like I said, this movie is directed by George Clooney. I haven't watched too much of George Clooney's filmography as a director. I did recently watch his most recent one, I think it came out in 2020, called Midnight Sky. I think that movie was a little bit boring. It was like a sci-fi movie, but it didn't really do anything new, so I just ended up being bored by it. And so this movie feels very, very safe. It's probably one of the most safest movies I've ever seen. It never becomes great. It never becomes good. It constantly keeps your interest, but there's never enough to make you want to become more engaged in the movie. But there's also never a time to where you feel bored. So it's just it's like this straight line where you're just sitting there watching it, but not really feeling anything. It's a first-person narrative type of story, similar to, let's say, Forrest Gump or The Sandlot or A Christmas Story. You know what I'm talking about, with that narration of an older self as he looks back on his time as a kid. When a movie does that, I think nowadays it feels very amateurish. We've seen a ton of movies like that, a ton of classics like that, and modern movies, they don't really want to do that much because it does come off a little bit childish. You sort of make the audience feel like a child because you're telling them what happens instead of showing them through the actual movie or through the characters, or through the acting, right? It's you're just being spoon-fed the information instead of being shown to you and you sort of figure it out on your own. And so you do feel it there. I wouldn't say it's amateurish, but like I said, it just feels very safe and with the story that they're trying to tell. But all that being said, it still comes off as kind of this nice, relatable story. Uncle Charlie, Ben Affleck's character, that's a great character. It sort of feels like a lot of people that I know, his character. It's sort of like this Italian, sort of nice little uncle. I'm Italian. This movie takes place close to Long Island. I go to Long Island all the time. I'm close by there. And he owns a bar, and the people that are at the bar seem very people that I would hang out with. And I like that vibe. It's got that nice coming of age film type of vibe. And that's pretty much what it is. It's a coming of age film. And Ben Affleck, I'm pretty sure he was also nominated for a Golden Globe for this performance. Does it deserve the nomination? I don't know. Like the movie, his performance is also very safe. There's never a scene where I thought to myself wow, that's a great scene right there. He put a lot of effort into that. It's sort of this reserved performance, I'm not surprised he's nominated. I think he does a good job, but I think he does better in The Last Duel. If you guys watched that, that's a movie that came out last year as well, directed by Ridley Scott. I think he does a better performance in that movie than he does in this one, so I don't know why he was nominated for this, but like I said, I did enjoy his character. Other things I enjoyed about the film was the music. The music is great. Some of my favorite songs of all time are in this film, and I always brought a smile to my face when I heard it. But the music does feel like it was just thrown in there. It never felt like it was needed. It felt very forced. He was just trying to get a good song in there, at a nice time. It never felt like it kind of brought anything to the actual feel of the film. Some other problems are, the editing is sort of sloppy here and there. It doesn't really flow all that well. And like I said, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. The story, there's nothing new. It's sort of predictable in a lot of ways. It goes the way you think. It doesn't feel like they're saying anything new. At times it doesn't feel like they're saying anything at all. It's just kind of watching this kid go through his life. I want to become a writer, and the tribals that come with that. He goes to Yale. There's a love interest that happens at Yale. For the first 45 minutes of the movie, it's just him as a kid and seeing Uncle Charlie's influence on him. And that was the best parts of the movie, I think, was seeing that vibe and seeing that, relationship happen. When we get to his older self and he has to deal with the stuff, going on with having a job and school, it wasn't as interesting for me. So overall, by the end of the film, I think it did have a good message. The story comes full circle. The ending is one of the most cliche, predictable endings I've ever seen. I was laughing at the ending because it was so typical. It's your typical ending of a memoir. And it just ended exactly how I thought. And I was like, all right, like, such a safe film. So my rating for it right now is a 3.1 out of 5. Like I said, it's very stagnant. Not many ups, but not much downs either. I was never bored. I watched it in the morning with a nice cup of coffee. It was sort of a nice vibe for the morning, but it's really not anything I can recommend. And did I like it? I don't know if I'd say I liked it, but I definitely didn't dislike it. It's definitely not a bad movie. It's definitely an upgrade from Midnight Sky, George Clooney's last movie. But there's just not enough here for me to say that it was like a really good movie or a good movie at all. But honestly, not enough for it to be bad either. So take that as you will. If you guys are interested in watching this, like if you're interested in Ben Affleck starring in this, Christopher Lloyd is also in it. And it deals with like that father figure message, which I'm always a sucker for nowadays. So there's enough there for, I think some people will enjoy this. So if you're interested, I do recommend watching. If you've seen it already, let me know down below. What did you guys think? Or if you plan on watching it, or if you disliked it, whatever. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But that is it. I will catch you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.